Hare Krishna. Greetings from Moscow. I have another couple of days here. We have a program in the city today at Sundar Govinda's and Vilambari, and then small retreats on Friday and Saturday, then a program here on Sunday. We just greeted Jai Shri Radhe, who is coming back here after a long time, so she's here now too. Okay, let's get started. I'm not sure where we exactly are at. I'll just start where I think. Reading from the Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, Book 2, Chapter 2, Text 59. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. No doshas tatas va sankava kapi vidyate. Nanyatcha kinchid yagyesha pratyāyagyotsavānrate. On Maharloka there were no faults. Wait, that's the previous verse. 58. Tatas anumānyāham anaṅgī-kṛtya vipratām tatrāvasaṁ svato jāta prājāpatya-mahā-sukhaiḥ. Therefore, showing respect to the sages, I declined the status of a Brahmin, but I stayed on Maharloka, enjoying the exalted pleasures that automatically appear in the world of the Prajāpatis. Om Jnana-timirandasya gananjana shalakaya taksu unmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Gail asked if there's sound. Okay, there is sound, and I have my thing on, so it's just Gail's thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just me.
Okay, I became terrified, but yeah, we're following, Gop Kumar's journey, who he's explaining to this Mathura Brahmin, which is about the power and purpose of this mantra. It's a Gopal mantra, a 10-syllable mantra. When you get the Gayatri mantra, it's part of the Gopal mantra, the last couplet of the Gopal mantra. And it's very interesting that this mantra has power. And it really hit me because it's going to go every time he has some desire. He says, okay, I'll chant my mantra with intention and I'll go there. And subtly he can go to these places. It doesn't seem just mechanically, because he's going to go, very soon he's going to go to another planet called Tapaloka with the 4 Kumaras. So it really, really struck me in a humbling way that we can get what we desire if our intent is pure. Not even pure, if we have an intent, if we have pure intent for that desire. And it struck me because we're chanting Hare Krishna and we really have to have a proper intent. We have to want, we have to develop that desire for Krishna. It's all based on that desire. And I think the only way to get it, and this is my kind of realization now, the only way to get it, or get the desire we want, which is muktir hitva yata rupam sarupena viva, to have our sarup, to be situated in Krishna consciousness fully, is by hearing. I've never heard as much as I have in the last couple of weeks, especially I have one class with Dhanurdhara Swami every day. With just one point we discuss and relish references from different angles and just so many different times teaching this Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta. We have to hear. I remember when 1970, when I was in the university, in the winter of the university, or maybe 71, the devotees from the Brooklyn Temple came, and they were so dynamic. They were so dynamic, so confident. I wonder sometime in the future, the Hare Krishna movement, that ashram was very powerful. People got that experience. They may not have been pure, but they got that experience of that full surrender. I don't have any, it had pros and cons, and I don't have any clear vision of what to do, but very dynamic people. And they came to my university, and it was the temple president, Bhavananda, Bhakta Bob Campagnola, Harikesh. And then they started leading this kirtan. And I remember the kirtan because it was like a spiritual. It was Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. It was very powerful. And then Bhavananda began to speak, and they were so confident, right in the student union. I mean, if the hog farm can come in, then why not the Hare Krishnas? And they put up this big picture of Krishna, the one where Radharani is sitting down and Krishna's, it's kind of a very bluish painting. He's playing his flute. And Bhavananda talked about the Bhakti Lata Beach. I remember he was making this and chanting and hearing it. But when Prabhupada discusses that in the second canto, he describes the process of chanting and hearing. Chanting and hearing. Anyway, this Gop Kumar, this mature Brahmin got the mantra, wasn't educated so much about it, didn't really know. He got it in a dream. And the idea was the mantra was given to Gop Kumar by the Lord of the universe. So somehow or other, Gop Kumar is trying to find the Lord of the universe, but doesn't really have an education to distinguish it properly. And he begins his journey. He's explaining to that Mathura Brahmin, he's beginning this journey. And there are repeated themes. One theme I like is the power of faith and simplicity of Gop Kumar, even though he's not highly educated. His faith and simplicity. His guru gave him a mantra, and he adheres to that mantra. And by adhering to that mantra, he gets results of that mantra. So even though he doesn't have soul, he gets confused and he goes to various places. The mantra is carrying him. We saw he was just with Upendra, Vamanadev in Swagaloka. And then these Maharshis came, Maharishis. These great rishis came, and everybody, including Vishnu, and everybody was paying respects to them. So he wanted to know, what is their Lord? What is their Lord? And he decided, he had that little curiosity. I have to seek the best. I have to find the fulfillment of my faith. And it carries him there. And I think now we're in this Maharloka, and they're worshiping in a very, very beautiful way Yogeshwara, the deity of Yajna, the controller of Yajna. It's a form of Krishna, and it's very beautiful. And he becomes attracted. They always explain the point why he has that kind of full attraction, but he doesn't stay. That's also that concept that we see when Krishna goes to Kurukshetra. That place is required for relationship, because a place has certain people in a certain type of relationship. And if you want a different type of relationship with the person in that place, it's going to be very difficult. Like Kurukshetra, Krishna is surrounded by retinue of subjects, and he's a king, and he's Rajavesh, he's dressed like a king. So it's not a suitable place for Krishna to manifest Akila Rasamrita Murti as her lover, as Radharani's lover. So it's satisfying because that person of your dreams is there. And they maybe even momentarily to express that to you, but they cannot keep that position as the lover in that environment. In fact, this may be a Monday morning greetings, because I think it's such an interesting subject. This relationship between love and place. Place is constructed for love. And if the place is not constructed for the love that you want with the person in that place, or the person you love is not in the place of your love, you'll never be satisfied with the place or the person within that place. I tell you, an Indian household, a very chaste, the husband and the wife have an inner quarters where no one else in the family could go, because no other place is suitable for the conjugal relationship, which is, and I'm not talking even gross or subtle, which is not appropriate for the children and the friends and the parents. So there has to be a special place for the particular relationship one wants. That's another theme here. And that's why Gop Kumar can never be satisfied, ultimately. Even though the person of his Lord is there, but can't manifest fully, or if he manifests, can't maintain that. And then, of course, this was ultimately Uttara's question to Maharaj Parikshit. What about the place? So she understands this. You need the person. You want a relationship, you need the person, and you need the place that facilitates that relationship. Both must be there. And it's an essential point in Krishna consciousness also. So Gop Kumar and Gop Kumar has a particular nature, and I'm not sure, but he meets his guru 5 times. I'm not sure. I think he met him when he got initiated, and then I think he met him in Jagannath Puri and gave him some kind of benediction that, you should always eternally remain in a cowherd boy. He has, so this simple faith he has in his nature and essence. And even though he's going to other places, he's not satisfied. He can't change. He can't change. And here's another example. Somehow or other, there's again, another theme that I think is very, very powerful here is the transcendental system. And the transcendental system is the connection between the super soul, who can move people together, can move guru and disciple together. It's a transcendental system. You have a desire, and Krishna sees desire in that heart and moves another person, guru, in his heart and moves the people together. It's the transcendental system. So there's this concept here, and I think it's really powerful, is that God is very personal with each living entity. Although he has certain automatic systems that he puts them through if they want to karmically enjoy. But ultimately, when one has that spirit in his heart, then God personally reciprocates. And that spirit is called the Bhakti Lata Bij, the seed of devotion, the faith, the conception of bhakti, the desire for guidance and authority above one's limited authority. God sees it in the heart and he responds. A classic example is Brahma Vimohan Lila, where Krishna tells the cowherd boys to beg from the Brahmins. But it also says he's thinking of certain devotees. He's making a plan to give service and give himself to devotees. Why? How? Because somehow or other these Brahmin ladies, for their yajna and sacrifice, they were going to buy milk, and they were going to buy yogurt and milk and yogurt and flowers from the gopis. And the gopis are talking about Krishna. That's their kirtan. Their bhav in the heart is expressed in their talk. And anyone who hears that bhava shaped in that sound vibration, they can become, and they kept on listening to Krishna, 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 Krishna. They became listening until that katha of the gopis became the ornament for their ears. And who was hearing? Krishna was hearing. And this is how the process of bhakti works. Krishna is listening to our hearts, and through the transcendental system provides us the Sanga we need to satisfy our hearts. So that's another thing. Anyway, he winds up on Maharloka, and Krishna is, we'll find out later that Krishna has this specific affinity. We had a whole discussion with Niranjan Swami, today of this Gop Kumar. That he quoted me a verse, because he's a bit of a scholar in Bṛhad-bhāgavatāmṛta, and he quoted a verse that Krishna said to him when he finally came. You had no qualification, life after life, I'm waiting for you to turn to me. Life after life, I'm waiting for you to turn to me. And Krishna is making all these arrangements. And he's made arrangements in our life too. How we got sadhu Sanga. And I guess the whole process of bhakti is basically making ourselves receptive to it. I often talk about kirtan and why sankirtan is more powerful than kirtan. Although I just gave a class showing why alone is also important. Alone is very important. It develops certain special qualities when you're chanting alone. But the advantage of kirtan is community removes false ego. And false ego is the limited concept of I, that I am in the center. And I should enjoy and I shall control. That's the limited concept of I. And community, real community, removes that false ego, which is like an umbrella blocking the sun of the holy name, the sun of God's energy from touching our consciousness. Like an analogy, an umbrella is very small, sun is very powerful, but it can cover us from its influence. So, anyway, here with Gopakumar, he's there and he has this simplicity of heart and this faith. He's not very educated. I was going back to that point, that with the Brahmins, so Krishna heard their hearts. He heard their hearts and made an arrangement. Krishna hears our hearts and makes an arrangement. Sincerity. He hears our hearts, he makes an arrangement for us. So it's another theme with Gopakumar that Krishna has something special. We really don't know what it is. Because Krishna says, you don't have any qualification. You didn't turn from me. I've been waiting for you to do it. But when you turn a little bit and open your hearts, then Krishna is there. Anyway, so what happens here now is he winds up in Maharloka because these great sages came. He became attracted. If the people on Swagaloka and even Upendra himself and Indra himself, they're worshiping these Maharshis, these great rishis, then how great are they and what is their object of love? And maybe that is the Lord of the universe. So he comes here and they become attracted again to his simplicity. I was talking to Dhanurdhara Swami, how attractive that simplicity is. And we talked about this one devotee in the Boston temple. He lives outside, has severe mental disability, godbrother, but comes to that temple, or at least he used to, for 6-7 hours a day, cleaning it. He can't get up till 4 PM. He's on lithium and so many things, and cleans it. That simplicity is so attractive. So somehow or other, the combination of that and this transcendental system, somehow he's always elected when there's need. And they say you can become an exalted Brahmin, and you can do this worship that we're doing. And he doesn't want it because he relishes the position of servant. He relishes the position of servant. He'd rather worship the Brahmins than become the Brahmin. Of course, one can become a Brahmin as a service to Krishna. You increase your service. There's nothing wrong with that, but still, this mood is so charming. I'm not here for name and fame. I'm not here to control the world. And I have a particular mood in which I exhibit devotion, and I'm not I don't want to take this position. Nadoshas tatra shoko va shankava kapi vidyate nanyat chakinchid yagyesha pratyayat satsavamrite. On Maharloka, there were no faults. There was no sorrow, nor apprehensiveness. There was nothing but festivals of sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord of Sacrifice. Purport. On Swagaloka, Gopakumar detected subtle signs of lust, envy, anger, rivalry, and false pride. I remember there was one thing, there was some jealousy there on Swagaloka. But on Maharloka, these faults were non-existent. There was no sorrow from defeat by opponents or from any other cause. There was no fear of the destruction of the world or fear of individual degradation. Without these distractions, the residents of Maharloka gave themselves fully to worshiping the Supreme Lord with festive Vedic sacrifices. The residents were completely uninterested in mundane sense gratification. Kaler doshe nedhe rajan eko asti mahagunan kirtanad eva krishnasya mukta sangam prajam brajet. This age, wait. Prayenalpa yashashubha kalabas min yuge janaha manda sumanda mateo manda bhaga upa. Disturbed, lazy, manda sumanda, unfortunate. Prabhupada said this Kali Yuga is surcharged with opposition to spiritual life. I wrote that article in my Monday morning greetings, from drama to meaning, because it's just one person after another with drama. Every day I hear some terrible sickness, some incredible relationship problem, some employment problem, on and on and on. Kali Yuga, it forces you to come to the platform of meaning, where you can see God and God's grace everywhere. One of the items of devotional service is expecting the Lord's mercy. It means seeing it everywhere and feeling that kindness everywhere, not as an individual act that someone does things, but a state of being, because that's how you see the universe and how the universe moves. So much drama until we say, I surrender. I give up. I do my duties and leave the results to Krishna, but I give up trying to control and enjoy. That's why the world moves against us, because even if everything went our way, it wouldn't give us happy consciousness. And when it doesn't go our way, we suffer. It's just suffering. Not being the soul is just suffering. And therefore Krishna turns up, this is the way it is. We're not the controller and enjoyer. But here there are material realms which are much more pious. And you'll see there's also some defect in there, because in Maharloka, when the universal devastation comes, the heat up to Swagaloka affects Maharloka, and I think they have to go to someplace else. So there's always a Brahma, Bhuvana, Loke, Puna Avatanu Jana, from the topmost planet to the lowest planet. All are places of suffering. You just can't avoid it. You have to live in that reality. And that reality entails that we surrender with Krishna's will and become happy with Krishna's will. Because we have a different standard of happiness, and that's kindness and mercy from God, who's elevating our consciousness in everything he does in this world. It's tough, but I'm just saying, that's it. Those who, Gorga Binmar said, those who are fortunate becomes unfortunate. Those who are unfortunate become fortunate. I'm in a good period now, but a bad period will certainly come. Martras, I heard Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita. He came to the Dallas temple when I just joined, and he gave Bhagavad Gita in the morning, and he said, Martras sparshas takonteya sitoshna sukha dukkha da agamat payano nisya tam tatit chasva bharata. The non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress and their disappearance in due course of time is like the changing of the summer and winter seasons. One should learn to tolerate them. Prabhupada is very, very clear. I mean, he just clears away all the debris. He's very, very clear what the basic responsibilities, what this world is, and how we should respond. But we have to hear it again and again and again. Because we're so conditioned to icha dvesha. We're so conditioned to the false ego and the hate of anybody who threatens it. It's so within us. You gotta surrender. You don't have to become renounced, because surrender means whatever Krishna wants. He doesn't ask people to become sannyas, he asks them to dedicate their lives to God. And I guess with this world, I don't know why I'm feeling hell, brimstone, and fire. I guess I just ate lunch here, because right now it's 3:06. But that's what comes to my mind. That's what comes to my own mind. You have to surrender. You can't surrender in the past. You can't surrender in the future. You have to surrender now. And that's when anxiety ends. Except the anxiety that we have to maybe accept some things that we don't want, and perhaps we have to give up some things that we want, which are not happiness anyway, for real happiness, for the flourishing of the soul. So, kintu yagya samatau syad dukam antahate prabho vate yagyantare chasya pradarbhavat-punasukham. But at the end of each sacrifice, unhappiness would arise when the Lord disappeared. And when the Lord reappeared at the start of another sacrifice, happiness would begin again. Purport: at the end of a sacrifice, Lord Yageshwara would disappear, but because he was controlled by the love of his servants, he would not stay invisible for long. Still, this brief cause of discontent was enough to plant in Gopkumar's heart a seed of desire to find even a better place. So that's it. We want happiness without duality. And what is the duality? That the happiness we get, we lose. And therefore, the sense of enjoyment is always mixed. Certainly materially, it's always mixed with a fear that we'll lose it, and the sorrow when we do. Therefore, real happiness is getting what we want, that's eternal, that we're always with. Those three categories. It's what we want, it has to be eternal, and we always have to be with it. And that's only the nature of the soul, of consciousness, to love God. Chaturyugya sahasrasya tattvayaika dhanasyahi ante trilokya dahena gyanaloka digamyate. at the end of 1,000 cycles of ages, for that place, one day, the conflagration of the three worlds forced us to take refuge on Janaloka. Purport, Maharloka exists for the same duration as the planet of Lord Brahma, but because Maharloka is adjacent to Swaga, its inhabitants are forced to evacuate by the heat created during the fire of annihilation that burns the lower worlds. After Maharloka, Janaloka is the next destination. So there's higher and higher places. And even though Maharloka lives for a lifetime of Brahma, every day of Brahma, they get scorched and they have to move. So these higher places, then they'll go to this Tapaloka. After Janaloka, they'll go to Tapaloka. And Tapaloka is the four Kumaras. And Gop Kumar is going to go there. But they're absorbed in meditation of God in their heart. So he doesn't see the object of his love externally. And they're bhajananandis. So, and they're in samadhi. So there's no interaction. So each place has a dissatisfaction for him, and each place has some defect. And I think in Tapaloka, they'll probably wind up in Shantaras and Vaikuntha. So all these people are still ascending. But Gop Kumar, and it's a beautiful thing because they're performing austerities, they have their mood, but the simplicity of heart attracts God almost to supersede all these incredible places. Now, Gop Kumar evidently has some desire, some experience, but somehow or other, God is guiding him for when he is ready for the next realization. And that's what our life is. God is preparing us for the next realization, and we need this experience and that experience and this experience and that experience, and then we're ready for the next realization. But that's just one of millions of realizations we need to actually. I look at the absolute reality as like this intricate crossword puzzle, and realizations are just little pieces of that. And then we get a piece, and what's the next piece to see at a higher level? It's again this experience and that experience and this experience and that experience and this experience that leads to, and then you're ready. We need to understand this next thing, but we may not be ready to understand it unless we have more composite realizations. It goes on and on and on and on. If you haven't had a new realization this year on what you were lacking, a simple realization of what you are lacking, some vision of reality that you hadn't seen, that you just got, then you're not practicing Krishna consciousness deeply. One more verse and then Rajanyan iva jatayam yagya bhavena tatpatu yageshar darshanena syat dahastad dayatodika. On Janaloka, as if it were night time, no sacrifices were being performed, and the pain of not seeing the Lord of sacrifice burned more greatly than burning of the three worlds. Purport, there is no literal nighttime in self-effulgent Janaloka. But when Brahma goes to sleep along with Lord Garbhodakshai Vishnu, the lower planets merge into one vast ocean. And throughout the universe, both sacrificial and ordinary activities come to an end. When no sacrifices are performed on the planet of the sages, Lord Yogeshwar no longer appears there. And for Gop Kumar, the pain of the Lord's absence was worse than the scorching fire of annihilation blasting from the mouth of Sankarsana. So he has faith, this trust by experience. Why is he missing it so much? Because in his simplicity of heart, when he sees the deity, when he sees God, there's nothing blocking that energy and experience of love from touching his heart. And therefore, he has separation. Govinda Varahename. And you're absent. The whole world is vacant. Okay. Hey, Brahmatirtha, please say hello, if you're still there.
Hare Krishna.
Hare-
Nice to see you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Nice to see you.
I
Any
think, yeah.
reflection, any point that struck you?
Well, you know, there's get a little mundane, but there's the old folk song, "Nothing, Nothing," the total nihilist song that there's no happiness in the world. Of course, they themselves were miserable folks, but it's like that Gokumar can't find happiness without the ultimate. I love hearing these realizations, especially the conversations you have with Narendra Swami. So I feel like a little voyeur into the inner world there. It's quite nice for me. Thank you.
It's so nice to actually exchange. He's the nicest person you could meet, practically speaking, with no false ego and just appreciative. So it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. He's, you might say, he's our Jesus Christ, born Jewish and used to be a carpenter.
I just hope they don't hang him on the cross. But
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Where are you now?
I'm in Moscow.
Oh, that's right. You told me that's where you're going. Yeah.
Yeah. And last time I spoke, you'll read in my Monday morning greetings that they made my schedule and they put the ballet on the schedule. And I never went to a ballet before.
Okay.
And they got me the best seats, right in the middle, front seat, right above the conductor.
Oh, my.
And I didn't want to be there, kind of, but I did it because these people were so nice. I mean, my God, how they hosted me, it's just another level. I mean, really another level. These people are so nice. Of course, I had programs. Even that day, I had program. They moved the program up to 3:00 so I can go to the ballet. And still 50 people came. And it has to be done just by invitation.
Of course, it's Moscow.
Well, yeah, it's because I'm a foreigner. But you'll read about it. I really, I love the ballet. I couldn't believe it. Although I realized at the end that 50 beautiful, skimpy dressed ladies twirling around was probably not the best place for the sannyasa ashram. but anyway, I really enjoyed everything.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
No, but it's the most famous ballet in the world.
Right. This was in St. Petersburg. It's called the Meninsky Ballet.
Okay.
And it was Swan Lake, and it was really. So I wrote an article. It'll come out next week, but I already finished it, and it's called. And Kaylee Nakun, she's here. She also came with us. She's friends with my host, and I called it the Swan Lake, the Ugly Ducklings, and Krishna Consciousness.
I will see it Monday.
Yeah, and guess who the ugly ducklings were? Me and Jagadish.
Okay.
I can imagine like a scene like that where I come into the ballet and people are clapping and I'm going like this.
Well, it's better than a Bronx cheer. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Nice to see you.
Right.
Thank you for coming. Jamuna Jaya. Harbo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I didn't get a chance to tell you on Sunday, but I was so happy to hear you love the ballet because that's, of course, was my first foray into
Well, did you go to ballets with orchestras and
Oh
everything?
my goodness, yes, Mirage. That's what got me hooked into dance and movement. Yeah, the New York City Ballet and
I don't know. We may have to have a special outing, Jamunajaya. Your guru is now addicted to ballet.
the ballet.
I mean,
Yeah,
I explained it in this article I'm writing. It was rasa. They
yeah,
had an emotion. It just wasn't the proper emotion for me, but they had an emotion that they were communicating, and these were the best in the world. And
yeah.
at the end, when I didn't even know, I got at the end what the whole thing was about because I read it so funny. When I read it, it says Swan Lake. You know, it said almost without exception, every civilized man has understood this. And I just like, okay, I haven't. But it's terrible. But the 38 ferrets,
Yeah, Fuertes. Yep.
at the end, and then the curtain calls and the conductor, and I'm sitting right above his head, and then the next day, the lady who cooked lunch, she was a conductor. So
Uh,
after lunch, they called in and she showed me all the moves, what it means, because I couldn't figure out what he was doing, that the thing was responding. But what I understood is that it's incredibly empowered to actually, because he's conducting also the dancing and the
mhm.
instruments at the same time. And I just say, like, that's in Krishna consciousness, we should have that type of absorption that a conductor has.
Hmm.
Because he has no space in his mind for anything, because there's so many things going on. Okay,
Yeah.
Jamunajaya, next time I'll talk, now that we have this common thing, we'll talk
Okay. We're
ballet.
go we're going to the
But
ballet, right?
but I don't know. I figure at the end you'll see. I think it's probably more kosher for me to go to just opera.
Okay. That's true. I don't know so much about that, but the ballet I
Well,
do
at
know
least there's not all these ladies,
in
dancing
no
around.
clothes.
But okay, good. Anybody else like to say hello today when I'm in this jolly Moscowite mood?
Maharaj is here to steer, just enjoying the last hour. Haribol.
Okay. Have you ever gone to ballet?
It's never been on my bucket list, but I think I did once.
Yeah, you see, we're those uncivilized Americans.
Exactly.
But in those countries, and they say it's attractive to a wide of diversity of people. But when I saw what my realization was is that there's a science of this is the emotion and this is you're going to recreate it and the audience is going to
Right.
feel it, but not in their own ego, but in a cathartic or transcendent way. That's what it does. But I was surprised, but they were expert, and just seeing the expertise, it can only be God. I quoted from in my article from Leonard Bernstein. What he said is that what a composer does, he reaches to the divine and takes
Mm.
from the divine a note and brings it to the world. So I could see that. That's the only way you can explain the rightness of it. Okay, well,
I, I,
thanks for the
I
appreciation.
just want to. I want if anyone ever did studies of comparing Sanskrit drama
Yeah,
to Western European, Roman,
yeah,
Latin, whatever.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you, Marsh.
Okay, we'll keep in touch. Maybe next week or the weeks after I'm back and we'll just
When
touch
good.
base again. Okay?
Thank you.
Thanks for
Haribol.
coming on. Great. Haribo. Anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Gail, Haribo.
Yeah. Yeah, there were a couple of things that got my attention. One was, remember when you were saying that we should see the and we should go from seeing the individual acts of kindness of Krishna to just understanding that it's his nature,
Okay.
everything that
Okay,
happens.
I have to explain this more carefully. Like you can feel grateful, I got this, super soul experience and God gave this to me, right? or then you can feel grateful that something else happens.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about in Krishna consciousness, it has to be your state of being. You're always in a state of gratitude. And that's what an advanced Vaishnava is. He's always in a state of gratitude because he sees everything as Krishna's mercy. And what I'm saying is that that's an item of devotional service, expecting the Lord's mercy and seeing it in every place.
Yeah. So when you become elevated, right?
Yeah.
You just somehow inherently or spontaneously understand that even when things go in an adverse way, right?
Right.
That is still Krishna. You no longer have any doubt, even in the face of adversity, that this
Not
is
even any
Krishna.
doubt, but you're feeling it at every moment. So there's no space in between. You're breathing, it's God's grace. Everything
Wow.
becomes God's grace. And
Mhm.
I'm gonna I have a seminar now that I do. Maybe I should do it once on this, on gratitude as a state of being.
Yes, yes,
Maybe I should give
yeah.
one. I'll give it. I think when I get back, I'll give one special seminar on it.
Yeah.
That'll be good. Okay. Anybody
I
else?
just have to say, Maharaj, too,
Yeah.
that it's kind of embarrassing, but at the same time, it was more than a little discouragement when you said that. Well, if you haven't seen at least some realization of what you're missing, I mean, apart from like the big things that you're missing, then you're not really practicing Krishna consciousness, you know.
I
And
knew
so
that
I'm
was
like,
heavy. I was just in a state of intoxication because I just ate lunch.
I think you're just trying to make me feel better, but okay.
No, I'm not. I even write it down for me and send it to me so I can conceptualize and express it better. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Hare
Because I
Krishna.
realized that was a very depressing point. Okay. Not Brandy, Radharani.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I'm in Jersey and I just missed you
What do you mean you just missed me?
because you left a few days ago. I got here and you were gone.
Oh, damn.
I know. And then I leave and Raghunath comes.
I don't know what sinful activity you did in the previous life.
Yep. I missed both of you this trip.
Okay, well, there's separation. Absent makes the heart grow fonder.
Yes, Maharaj. And I'll see you in September.
Yeah.
I'm
Somehow I'll hang out all day there.
Yeah.
That's just like I'll spend some time with you, even though it'll be probably 75 people, but it'd be nice to see you there.
Yes. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Maharaj.
And I'm back. Now I'm probably rethinking whether I should go to Colombia again because I already went twice. I'm trying to figure it out. That means I'm just going to be hanging out in New Jersey. So if you want to talk to me by WhatsApp and we can follow up. Are you still
Yes.
taking those JAPA seminars? Did that stop?
Well, it paused because of Italy and then this Jersey trip, but I'm going to get back with her when I get back. But she changed my whole japa. I'm absolutely obsessed with her. I love her.
Okay.
You put me with the right person. You knew.
I'm a connector.
Yes.
Read the book Tipping Point. It describes mavens, connectors, things like that. Okay.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, Haribo. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Okay, we see Lal, Govinda, Haribo.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for class.
You're enjoying those classes, I could see, right?
Oh, they're amazing. So much nectar.
Yeah. Yes.
I would also like that lecture, or maybe it was just like a little write-up from Srila Swami about for the ending of
I'll send you that. I
Yeah.
have that. You have to send me a WhatsApp and then I'll send it. Otherwise, I'll forget.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Haribo.
Haribo.
Okay, someone else wanted to say hello? Haribo?
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Maharaj,
Maharaj.
this is Krishnamrita.
Okay,
Well, I'll be the next.
I'll see you today. Okay, probably, maybe, I don't know, or Sunday. Okay, Haribo. Haribo. One more person.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, this is Hemalata Radha. So nice to see
I
you.
still haven't got down to those internal dates, right? Is that what you wanted?
Yes, Maharaj.
Okay, okay, Haribo. Okay, all right, I'm headed out now. Nice to see everybody there. Let me see. Okay. Okay, Haribo. Mancha kalpa